foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with. Will you sing it with me? You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. All right. So everyone in the room is in charge of every one of these notes, and we're going to keep them together, which means that when I say put a little too early, you have to join me, right? I can't have a solo. It's just choir today. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with. Yes, I feel so joined in your company. That's fantastic. There's another part. It goes like this. It goes like this. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, your turn. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. I hear 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. I'd love 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. Yeah. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. Again. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. A walk. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. Yes. Let me try and convince you. You don't think this is cool enough yet. Can you think it's cooler? It goes 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, your turn. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, again. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, again. 1 foot, 1 foot. And the last part goes, and lead with love, your turn. And lead with love. So 3 times it goes 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, back. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, and lead with love. Good. You'll take that part to start. 1 foot, 1, and we'll take, you gotta put 1 foot in front of the other. And at some point, I will do this gesture, and I'll say, switch. And no, I give really good directions. I'll tell you that the turn is coming 3 blocks away, okay? Switch, so no panic, but we'll switch parts, okay? And we'll hold each other up. Let's start with a 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, again. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. 1 foot, 1 foot, and lead with love. You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other, and lead with love. 1 foot in front of the other, and lead with love. You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other, and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other. And lead switch. You gotta put 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other. I think we rise now. Let's rise. You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other. I think we add a little rhythm, yeah? You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead. Last time, everybody. You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other Good morning, everyone. Oh, so good to see you. So good to be with you wherever you are, in this room or in the world. Good to be with you in community and in worship. To do the call to worship, I need some help forming a goose formation. You've never formed a goose formation before? My goodness. Yeah, it's going to be a V, and I need, I need an odd number of people. Not a number of odd people, but an odd number of people. So I need like 5. Say, yes, 1, yes, 2, come on up. Yes, 3, 4, and I see 5. Yes, come on up. Yep. Okay, we're going to form a V. Okay, someone has to be in the lead first, and they go there. And then we have 2 geese on either side of the lead. Yes, you'll go right here, and you, hello, right to step to your, yes. And then we'll have, yes, and then we're here, yes, and will you come this way? Will you come this way? Yes, fantastic, and you're right beside. And Jenny, would you come this way? Fantastic, yes, yes, okay, all right. Lessons from the geese. Here we go. And now we're going to act out as best we can all of these. I'll be with you the whole time, okay? As each goose flaps its wings, so we're flapping, yes, it creates an uplift that the birds to follow. By flying in a V formation, the whole flock adds 71% greater range than if each bird flew alone. So people who share a common sense of direction and community can get where they're going quicker and easier because they're traveling on the thrust of one another. Listen, when a goose falls out of formation, who's going to fall out of formation? Yes. Falls out of formation, it suddenly feels the drag and resistance of flying alone. It quickly moves back into the formation to take advantage of the lifting power of the bird immediately in front of it. And if we have as much sense as a goose, we stay in formation with those headed to where we want to go. We're willing to accept their help and give our help to others. When the lead goose tires, when the lead goose gets tired, yes, it rotates back into the formation and another goose flies into the point position. Yes, it pays to take turns doing the hard tasks and sharing leadership. As with geese, people are interdependent on each other's skills, our capabilities, and our unique arrangement of gifts. 2 more. The geese flying in formation honk to encourage. Yep, I'll say it again. Yeah, the geese flying in formation honk to encourage those up front to keep up their speed. And we need to make sure our honking is encouraging. In groups where there is encouragement, the productivity is much greater. The power of encouragement is the quality of honking we seek here and all places. And when a goose gets sick, when a goose is wounded, 2 geese drop out of the formation. 2 geese drop out of the formation and follow it down to help and protect it. They stay until it dies or until it can fly again. Then they launch out with another formation or catch up with the flock. And if we have as much sense as geese, we will stay by each other in difficult times as well as when we are strong. How about a honk of applause for our geese? Thank you very much. Thank you so much. My, the difference we can make in the world for love and liberation if we can make sure that our honking encourages one another. It doesn't all have to be nice, but when it's all kind, we can grow great things among and between one another. There is immense potential in the power of this gathering. And if you think you're not part of that sentence, let me reassure you. The power that we have together extends beyond anything that we could do alone, and you can do quite a bit on your own. But if we want to matter to love in the world, if we want to matter to those hearts that are around us and beyond us, the way to do that is together. The way to do that is together. So welcome. Our business is togetherness. Let us gather in the name of love. Reverend Ashley, I wonder if you would help us by lighting the chalice flame. It's a symbol of Unitarian Universalists all over the world, across time. And as Reverend Ashley lights our chalice, we say the words we use to keep our community in motion. It starts with the all-important word. What's the word? Love. Yes. Will you say it with me? Love. Love is the spirit of the Spirit. And service is the law. This is our great covenant. To dwell together in peace, to speak the truth in love, and to help one another. And when the chalice has run out of liquid, one of the geese flies out of formation. Honk, honk. Yeah. Yes. Yes. There you are. There you are. And we will be very careful with you. You are of a fine temperature. Thank you for that encouraging honk, Reverend Ashley. Yeah, oh, I know you have the fire extinguisher. That encourages me. The fire, once a metaphor, now a reality. Let love continue to be the spirit of this church. Let service be its law. Honk, 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 honk. Yes. I can't wait to see how Sign Up Sunday goes downstairs. Just honk, honk, honk. That'd be great. Encouraging honks all around. Friends, it's time to encourage. Time to encourage one another in a different way. We have a ritual that we have just begun together, where we take this flame, this chalice cup with the flame, and we transfer some of its fire into a lantern. And that lantern goes with our children and youth into their RE classes. The reason we do that is a symbol to remind us that the flame of our love and of our work does not stay only in this room. It goes wherever we can think it to go. It goes wherever our spirits go. And so now, may the flame we have kindled here actually transfer Yes, fantastic. May it go wherever we will go. May the love inside of this community's flame be in our hearts wherever we are, always. Thank you. And there are 3 flags here, 3 flags that grow in their look and design every time we see them. They represent our kindergartners and first graders, our second graders and third graders, and our fourth graders and fifth graders. Do we have flag bearers? Where are you, flag bearers? Don't make me carry all these flags myself. Yes, come on up. Okay. Yes, 1, 2, yes. Okay. And honk, 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 honk. Thank you. Now we're going down. We're going up these aisles to the back so that everyone can see exactly where they need to go. Kindergartners and first graders are going to my left, and that would be the opposite of that. And then second graders and third graders are going down this aisle. Fourth graders and fifth graders are going down this aisle. And kindergartners and first graders are following that flag. And second graders and third graders are following that flag. And fourth graders and fifth graders are following that flag. And the room is singing this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Amen. Good morning. My name is Ashley. I am one of the ministers among you. I should clarify, my name is Ashley Harness, because there's another Reverend Ashley who is sadly not with us today. Reverend Ashley Horan is actually in the emergency room. She will be okay, but she will not be preaching. She sent us the gift of her words to carry us through this morning, and Dr. Glenn Thomas and I will have the honor of preaching her words in a bit. But I wanted to just begin with that clarity and of I am Ashley Harness, and that we are holding our beloved Reverend Ashley Horan in so much love and care right now as she gets the healing she needs. Speaking of holding folks in love, there is this thing we do here called prayer. And when I started a couple years ago, I was confused about this thing we do called prayer as it applies here at First Universalist. What do you mean by prayer? I don't know. That was my question, and I'm sure there are as many definitions of prayer in this room as there are humans in this room, if not several for each of you, if we're being honest. And the second thing that was confusing to me is that only the minister was talking, as though somehow we all needed the minister to talk for us to whatever was holy in our hearts, which is not our tradition of UUism. So, to be completely honest, it felt like I was watching a show of prayer instead of actually praying with you all. But then something happened. Something began unfolding over the last couple of years that has been so gorgeous to watch. It's this thing called praying together, which is just a fancy way of saying practicing presence together. And for some of us, that presence might be about what the Irish priest and philosopher John O'Donohue calls practicing being in the quiet immensity of your own presence or each other's presence. And for some of us, it might be the powerful attention that Mary Oliver calls us to when she calls us to a doorway into thanks and a silence into which another voice might speak. Whether or not we call that voice God, love, revolution, depends on where we come from. No matter, we come together now to pay attention with exquisite care to our own and each other's hearts, to be in love's good company so that we can remember we are not alone, we are holding it together. After each prayer is spoken, whether it's by you or me or into the chat online where I will share from, please respond with "You are not alone. We are holding it together." The circle is open now. For your friend's father in hospice after a long battle with cancer, you are not alone. We are holding it together.
My prayers for my brother. He lives in Ohio. He's got advanced Parkinson, and I have not seen him for years.
Prayers for Steve, Jenny's brother, living with advanced Parkinson's in Ohio. You are not alone. We are holding it together. For the many, many people affected by war and conflict in this world, you are not alone. We are holding it together. For Sarah McMullen, as she grieves her sister, Pamela, who died on September 16th after 5 years of struggle with dementia. Sarah thanks her husband, Greg, and daughter, Johanna, and their friends for love and support during her sister's decline. We are holding Sarah and her whole family in love and care. You are not alone. We are holding it together. We send our care and wishes for ease and healing for Joyce Birdie, who had knee replacement surgery on Thursday. All went well, and she is recovering at home. You are not alone. We are holding it together. We pray for all those returning to school, especially our trans and gender expansive beloved kids, especially the ones in this church, especially the ones who are facing bullying. We hold you as made in the image of love, exactly as you are. You are not alone. We are holding it together. You are not alone. We are holding it together. We are joyously celebrating with Sarah Huser and Jack Daniels the birth of their third grandchild at about 10 a.m. this morning. You are not alone. We are holding it together. We also celebrate the life of Maria Genet and all of you who worked on the memorial team yesterday to make a huge event, a stunning and gorgeous and powerful experience for all who were there. Memorial team, thank you for holding it together. You are not alone. We are holding it together. For Renata online, who asked their partner to marry them earlier this weekend, and he said yes. You are not alone. We are holding it together. You are not alone. We are holding it together.
For my
For Philip Vance, who remains unjustly imprisoned. You are not alone. We are holding it together. For all the prayers, for all the meditations of our hearts that remain silent, we say now, you are not alone. We are holding it together. Let us sing, as is our custom, Spirit of Life, to receive all of the prayers spoken and unspoken. It's a time when we make beloved community concrete, when we make sure that we share our resources with each other so that abundance becomes real. This morning, our offering goes to Pink Haven. Pink Haven is an initiative that is a coalition of organizations led by trans and gender expansive folks, of which the UUA is a part and of which many of our congregations and organizations are a part. This organization, this coalition exists because there have been at least 85 anti-trans laws passed in the last year, because we have a crisis of new proportions of folks needing to relocate, needing to uproot their lives to stay alive, to get the care that they need for their bodies. This morning, we offer our resources to be a part of that incredible network of mutuality and care that has sprung up across the country. And we also remind you that there is absolutely always resource to share from this community if this is a practice, if this is a time when you need to practice receiving care. We offer resources from here as well. All you need to do is speak to one of us who are on staff, and we will direct you. So now let us receive our morning offering.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that gives my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that gives my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. A message in 3 movements. This message, like all messages here at First Universalist, was crafted in collaboration. Its lead voice, the Reverend Ashley Haran. May all the voices give voice to the truth. Movement 1 begins with a poem. The poem's title, How Fascism Will Come. I invite you to breathe. Terry Arrett writes, when fascism comes, it will greet us with a smile. It will get down on its knees and pray. It will praise Main Street and Wall Street. It will cheer for the home team. It will clap from the bleachers when the uninsured are left to die on the street. It will rally on the Washington Mall. It will raise monuments to its heroes and weep for them and place bouquets at their stone feet and trace with their fingers the names engraved on the granite wall and go sending soldiers to die in the mountains of Afghanistan, in the deserts of Iraq. It will send doves to pluck out the eyes of its enemies, having no hawks to spare. When fascism comes, it will sit down for tea with the governor of Texas. It will pee in the mosques from California to Tennessee, chanting, "Wake up, America, the enemy is here." It will sing anthems of corporatization, privatization, demonization, monopolization. It will be interviewed lovingly on talk radio. It'll have talking points and a Facebook page and a disdain for big words and hard consonants. It won't bother to read. It will shred all its books. It will lambast the teachers and outlaw the unions. When fascism comes, it will look good. It will have big hair and pressed suits, lapel pins. It will control all the channels. It will ride in on swift boats. It will sit on the Supreme Court. It will court us with fear. It will woo us with hope. When fascism comes, it will sell its shares of itself on the stock market. It will get rich. Then it will get obscenely rich. Then it will stop paying taxes. It will leave us in the dust. It will kick our ass. It won't have to break a sweat to fool us twice. It will be too big to fail. When fascism comes to America, it will enter on the winds of our silence and indifference and complacency. And on that day, 100,000 poets will gather in bookstores and libraries, bars and cafes, in their houses and apartments, in schools and on street corners. They will gather in Albania, in Bangladesh, in Botswana, Bulgaria, Chile, China, Czech Republic, Finland, Guatemala, Hungary, Macedonia, Malawi, Qatar, crying, laughing, screaming. They will wrap the sad music of humanity in bits of word cloth and hang them like prayers on the tree of life. Well, my grandmother marched, and my grandfather too, and I never thought that it's something that I'd have to do. But I'll march if I must. I'm on a mission, you'll see, and I'll be damned if my children have to march for me. I'm gonna sing out. I'm gonna march on. I'm gonna sing out. I'm gonna march on.
A reflection from the Reverend Ashley Horan. Before my current role, I was hired in 2019 as the organizing strategy director at our Unitarian Universalist Association, where my charge was to lead Side with Love, our national hub for the prophetic justice work of our faith. My assignment was to imagine and then hire a staff to build out an experimental new distributed organizing campaign called UU the Vote. In those first months, we started educating congregations about the IRS's 503c restrictions. Spoiler alert, pretty much the only thing you can't do from the pulpit is to tell people to vote for or against a particular political party or candidate. So watch us thread the needle today. We built partnerships, planned voter registration and mobilization campaigns, recruited UUs to be poll watchers and election judges. By the summer of 2020, we found ourselves, though, quarantining during the height of the COVID lockdown, and the Minneapolis police's murder of George Floyd had sparked a global uprising. By then, amen, UU the Vote began encouraging congregations to do scenario planning before the election so that if and when there was even further widespread violence or chaos, UUs would be prepared to embody our values and show up for our communities grounded and ready. And we started talking about, quote, fighting fascism in our public communications at the UUA. And y'all, my colleagues lost their minds. Not about COVID or global white supremacy, but about the F word. You can't say that. The US isn't, in 2020, Nazi Germany. Or, listen, these past 4 years have been bad, but we're going to defeat the Mandarin Marauder and everything is going to be fine. Or my favorite, you're being hysterical. Giving them attention just gives them legitimacy. Contrary to what many in the political right are still claiming, Joe Biden did, in fact, win the 2020 election. The US Senate tipped Democratic after an unprecedented runoff election in Georgia, and in the weeks following, I watched Unitarian Universalism breathe a sigh of relief. See, we did it. Democracy prevails, and now we can get back to normal. The pull of normal was enormous. We were longing for the world to feel understandable again in that post-Trump, mid-pandemic world on fire moment. But then the attempted coup happened on January 6th, and it became excruciatingly clear that no change in leadership could miraculously undo the damage that had been done to our communities, to our spirits, and to our democracy. Since January 6th, UUs specifically, and religious and political moderates and progressive generally, have mostly stopped having a knee-jerk resistance response to the word fascism. It makes us cringe, yes, but most of us in this post-Roe don't say gay, ban all the books and the drag queens, Project 25 moment, recognize that we are not well as a nation and that the specific political ideology at work can legitimately be described as fascism. If you weren't a poli-sci major, a basic definition of fascism is a, quote, mass political movement that emphasizes extreme nationalism, militarism, and the supremacy of both the nation and the single powerful leader over the individual citizen. Jason Stanley, a scholar and Yale professor who specializes in propaganda, outlines 10 tactics of fascism in his 2021 book, How Fascism Works, The Politics of Us and Them. You can also watch an excellent 9-minute summary on the YouTubes. I'm not going to break it all down, but here's a summary. Fascism relies on nostalgia for a mythic past that never was, a time when we were prosperous and powerful. Only now fascism whispers to those it's trying to recruit, those people, immigrants, queer and trans folks, the intellectual elite, religious minorities, and the woke police, have ruined our country, and they're coming to attack us and everyone we love by any means necessary. There is a deep anxiety about sexuality and gender and who gets to decide how we express them, and if we don't protect traditional families, if we don't defend women and babies, our culture, our society will crumble. Fascism tills the soil for a landscape in which it doesn't matter that telling people to inject bleach to fight COVID, or accusing Haitian immigrants of eating pets, or insisting that any number of elections were, quote, stolen, is not only patently false, but dangerous. Because the point is to destabilize the very concept of truth, to make us doubt the trustworthiness of the media and discredit anyone who has actual expertise. Don't believe them. They only want to manipulate you. The only person you can trust is the strong man and his, and I do mean his, sycophantic allies within the rigid hierarchy, as long as they're towing the party line. Fascism seamlessly blends church and state in a core framework of material and spiritual scarcity. There is a scarcity of God's love, of salvation, of all the earthly indicators of the divine's favor, which, not so coincidentally, are resources, power, and safety. In the US right now, we see this most clearly in the theopolitical ideology of white Christian nationalism, which you may know not only as paramilitary fringe groups like the Oath Keepers, but as the authors of Project 2025 and the swath of anti-trans, anti-immigrant, anti-abortion, and anti-democracy bills sweeping the nation over the past few years. Fascism builds a base of people so fractured, so fearful, so angry that no matter how terrible their own existence becomes, they can blame, quote, the enemy for their troubles. We are the victims, fascism insists, both of what has already come and what they want to inflict on us in the future. Anyone who is against us is a threat, a menace, and needs to be shut up, locked up, or simply eliminated. Violence is the only solution in the midst of such dire circumstances. So arm up vigilantes Stand back and stand by. Sound familiar? I invite you now to pause, to listen to the voice of fascism, the voice of mistrust and fear that haunts your own being. It is not out there.
There was Nazism all over the globe.
It lives inside each of us. Thank you, Jenny. Listen silently for those fears. And then give them some breathing room to be held by a neighbor sitting near you. When we speak our fears, they have a tendency to get smaller when they are held by love and compassion. Let us take just a minute now to turn to a neighbor, and if you feel called and willing, to give your fears some airtime so that they might be held and become smaller.
I'm gonna sing now. I'm gonna march on.
Movement 2. We begin with a poem from Worcestershire. What they did yesterday afternoon. They set my aunt's house on fire. I cried the way women on TV do, folding at the middle like a 5-pound note. I called the boy who used to love me, tried to okay my voice. I said hello. He said, "Warsan, what's wrong? What happened?" I've been praying, and these are what my prayers look like. Dear God, I come from 2 countries. One is thirsty. The other is on fire. Both need water. Later that night, I held an atlas in my lap, ran my fingers across the whole world, and whispered, "Where does it hurt?" It answered, "Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere."
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open, 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 open. It hurts everywhere. When they burned your auntie's house down in the latest carpet bombing in Somalia or Darfur or Ukraine or Gaza, It hurts everywhere when schools full of children in Ohio have to be evacuated because the candidates who want to run the country incite xenophobic violence against immigrant communities. When the young woman bleeds out in her car in the emergency room parking lot in Georgia because she couldn't get an abortion. When the parents of a child in Florida have to choose between providing gender-affirming care for their non-binary child or losing custody of them under allegations of child abuse. Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. When we are hurting, as so many of us are right now, regardless of political affiliation or ideology, that is when we are most susceptible to fascism. For some, it looks like falling for the promise to make America great again. But for others, including those who are actively fighting for pluralistic multiracial democracy, it looks like trying to use the master's tools to tear down the master's house, to quote the black lesbian mother warrior poet Audre Lorde. In the era of artificial intelligence and fake news, I've reposted memes or statistics that aligned with my own beliefs and threw shade at the other guys, only to find out that I'd been part of spreading mis- or disinformation, master's tools. I in no way want to draw false equivalencies between our two presidential candidates or the politics of fascism and neoliberalism. But I don't think it's coincidental that Vice President Harris's unexpected campaign leaned in hard to the law and order theme, touting her history as a prosecutor and taking every opportunity to cast her as a strong, no-nonsense, charismatic, tough-on-crime candidate. Master's tools. Did you just have a visceral negative reaction to my hinting that our presidential candidates have anything in common? If you did, don't worry, I had the same internal jolt writing this. Of course we did. Because the evolution of fascism in America is advanced enough that pluralism is perceived as a threat. Intellectual rigor and nuance are dangerous, and we've accepted the frame that any dissent with our leaders is so risky that it might cause us either our cancellation or the whole house of cards tumbling down. And so the Democratic National Convention didn't let a single Palestinian speak on stage, and the news media effectively called a blackout on the thousands of protesters from the uncommitted movement who were there to insist that supporting genocide is morally repugnant, regardless of one's political party. Masters tools. We are so tender, so tired, so worn and weary as a nation, as a people, as humans living through the particular apocalypses of this moment. Some of us newly destabilized by our dawning recognition. Some of us who know ancestrally, cellularly, that we have never been safe. How could we not be vulnerable? Because when it hurts everywhere, we look for relief, for salvation, anywhere. I encourage you to breathe. You may not be breathing right now. But breath and water are the great fundamental gifts given to the living body for cleansing, to remember the renewal of life that happens in every second. Breathe with me. Where is your hope built? What of the many simple things in this earth are giving you cause to believe in renewal? Where is your hope? I ask you to name it now for yourself. Name it in your heart. And if you dare to believe that capitalism is telling us a lie when it says that love and hope are zero-sum games, if you dare to believe that love only multiplies when you share it, that hope only gets bigger when you tell somebody about it, will you share one of your sources of hope? I promise they won't go away. Ooh, Blue Boat Home, source of hope, yes. Oh, yeah, no, I hear the song in your heart. I hear the song in your heart. It was so vibrant, in fact, that I heard it out loud for a second. For all the beings, the creatures, the things, the people, the places, the ideas that give us the source of hope and gratitude, may we be grateful now. May we breathe this in and breathe it out to share. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to work on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to pray on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to march on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to sing on. We've got to march on. We've got to move on. We've got to sing on. We've got to sing on, sing on. We've got to sing on. Movement 3. Movement 3 begins for us with a reading from the prophet, the mother, the doula, Adrienne Marie Brown, native of Detroit and author of the book Emergent Strategy, which you need to have in your library. Even if you don't read books, I'll get you a copy. Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll get you a copy. One of us will get you a copy. The Emergent Strategy, Reverend Haran adds page 71 for anyone wanting to go right to it. Hear the truth in this statement. My dream is a movement, Adrienne says, with such deep trust that we move as a murmuration, the way a group of starlings billow, dive, spin, dance collectively through the air to avoid predators. And also, it seems, to pass time in the most beautiful way possible. When fish move in this way, they're called shoaling. When bees and other insects move in this way, they are swarming. I love all the words for this activity. Here's how it works in a murmuration, a shoal, a swarm. Each creature is tuned to its neighbors, the creatures right around it in the formation. This might be the birds on either side or the 6 fish in each direction. There is a right relationship, a right distance between them. Too close and they crash. Too far away and they can't feel the micro-adaptations of each other's bodies. Each creature is shifting direction, speed, proximity, based on the information of other creatures' bodies. There is a deep trust in this. To lift because the birds around you are lifting. To live based on your own collective real-time adaptations. In this way, thousands of birds and fish and bees can move together, each empowered with basic rules and a vision to live. Imagine our movements cultivating this type of trust and depth with each other, having strategic flocking in their playbooks. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down beneath my sorrow's crown, friends to me gathered round, oh my soul, oh my soul. Friends to be gathered round, oh my soul.
Movement 3. In the words of the Reverend Ashley Horan. In her 2023 Berry Street essay entitled, "My Little Pony Was Right, Fascisms Without and Within," my friend and colleague, the Reverend Cecilia Kingman writes, "The ideas of fascism have been activated in a time of great anxiety about global immigration patterns, technological changes, demographic trends, and about climate disaster and wars for resources. Amidst all this anxiety, people look for simple answers, and fascist politicians supply those answers all too readily. Many species have an instinct to group together with their kin when they sense they are under attack. Humans are no exception, and fascism counts on this, on people feeling threatened by each other, by difference and diversity, assuming we will turn inward in smaller and smaller groups, huddling close and hoping for a strong man savior to vanquish any threat. But there are different ways to group with our kin. Geese in their V's, starlings in their murmurations, fish in their shoals. Mutual aid networks, underground railroads, mass resistance movements. These kinds of formations are antithetical to the core tactics of fascism. Pluralistic and fluid, leaderful and responsive, nimble and expansive enough to welcome nearly unlimited numbers into their midst at a moment's notice. Church is one of the places where we come to remind ourselves that together we can resist all the ways that fascism seeks to wear us down, turn us inward, push us apart. Our Unitarian Universalist faith is inherently anti-fascist. Week after week, we come together to be reminded that we are radically interdependent, that pluralism is our greatest asset, and we need not think alike to love alike. That justice and equity are the birthright of all people, regardless of identity and experience, and that generosity calls us always to community care. In the face of all the ways fascism tries to hypnotize us into its seductive trance, Unitarian Universalism, with its expansive understanding of abundant, extravagant love at the center of everything we aspire to do and be and become, takes us by the shoulders, looks us in the eyes and says, "Honey, wake up. Find your people. Remember who you are." This means that church is also one of the places where we get to practice the kind of formations that connect us both to our immediate neighbors and to an entire murmuration of kindred within the congregation, in our communities and across the globe. Religious communities at their best launch into flight flocks that are capable of not only outmaneuvering any predator, but of embodying interdependence, liberation, and beauty. How do we know if we're murmurating, flocking, or shoaling? When we find ourselves able to do something that alone would terrify us, but together feels possible. My challenge to each of us this week is to intentionally seek out something that will contribute to fighting fascism or alleviating its impacts, something that stretches the limits of your courage enough that you might imagine being able to do it in the company of others, but not on your own. Did you write 100 postcards to mobilize voters, but you haven't taken a door-knocking shift yet? Grab a friend a coffee hour and make that invitation. Did you cheer when Minnesota codified the right to abortion into our Constitution or became a sanctuary state for trans and non-binary people? Recruit 3 of your friends to become clinic escorts with you, or have a conversation about what it would take to form a welcome village for trans refugees here at church, in the same way we've supported asylum seekers from outside the US in the past. We have the apartment already. Fascism isn't a thing of the past. It isn't relegated to the fringe or in some other country an ocean away. We're really in it. The upcoming elections are hugely important, but no matter the outcome, it is our moral and spiritual obligation to flock in formation, to protect the most vulnerable, to shift and respond in attunement, to push the limits of our courage and our capacity as we reclaim the skies and stretch toward a horizon beyond the limits of our vision. Are you ready to fly? May it be so. Blessed be. Ashe and Amen. Here end the words of the Reverend Ashley Horan.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. Will you sing it with me? I'm going to keep on. I'm going to keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere.
beloveds, I invite you into formation. I invite you to fly right on down to the social hall, where you will find many opportunities to be invited into formation, to deepen your commitments, to find outlets for all that you are passionate about. I invite you specifically to consider the climate revival happening next weekend here at this church and across the country at UU churches in so many places. I invite you to look on our website for the Worship Associates application so you can help lead this formation we practice each week. Applications due Friday. Go forth to fly, beloveds.
I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way to the freedom land, to the freedom land. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way, great God, I'm on my way. Go in peace, my friends. Amen.